Well, social value, which came in via the Social Value Act, is really about improving the social, economic and environmental value for places of public activity in those places, particularly measured through public sector commissioning. And so what it really does is it introduces a dimension to the very large amount of public expenditure in places that can be used to think about how can you promote better social, economic, environmental outcomes. And what a lot of today was about was discussing the different approaches that people have taken to that and how you can measure it.
I genuinely believe that social value is a key consideration within the public sector, and particularly for CFOs. The public sector has huge financial challenges facing us. What social value does is draw your attention to the assets that are within the communities and stop thinking about people as drain on resources. So it brings a whole new aspect to the way that you view the resources that are available to you to deliver public services. It's a really exciting place to be, and I think CIPFA have got a real key role to play in terms of providing the platform amongst which chief finance officers, commissioners can come together and have a debate about what social value looks like and how we can embrace it.
So I think for us what's really important is that the best provider is delivering the services, that they're delivering services at the highest quality. And I think for those, social value and meat are really important issues in order to get more than just cost recognised. And then the hope is that, and the expectation is that for charities and social enterprises, that puts them on a slightly more even footing, and that they are competing not only on their level of efficiency and the level of cost, but also on the quality of what they produce. I think it's quite difficult to generalise really how people feel about it. For those that want to treat it as just a box-ticking exercise, it's not a very difficult thing to do. So there certainly is an element of that. But I think a lot of people, and increasingly they're recognising that these tools can be ways of achieving their sort of overarching strategic priorities and giving them an extra kind of tool to be able to achieve that.
I suppose in its cleanest element, whole systems thinking really considers the pathway and services end to end. So that could be all the way, say, from a GP cluster through to how care is provided in the community, if we're talking in those sorts of terms. It's talking about that. It's also talking about whole systems in terms of all the stakeholders that are involved and interact with those services, and also in terms of all of the dimensions of the organisations that are need to be aligned in order to deliver those services. That's kind of what we really mean when we talk about whole systems thinking. Well, I suppose that social value comes into this because we have these very complex systems that we need to think about. And if we think about what the purposes of our public services are, they're mainly around taking taxpayers' money and converting that into benefits and effects and services for people out in the community. So it really provides the start point, if you like, and the end point about against which we measured ourselves in terms of whether we've been successful.
The idea is it's a mechanism by which we can implement council priorities and balance those with the needs of the local communities. So what we do is we take 6 principles. So that's local employment, being a good employer, green and sustainable, being a good partner in communities, ethical procurement, and the one called Buy Birmingham First. Now, the idea of those is that we have mandatory and voluntary elements to those, and over a threshold of £200,000 or £500,000 as aggregate spend, those mandatories and voluntary measures apply. So living wage, for example, is a mandatory element of the Charter, and we'd seek to ensure that all organisations that work with us pay their employees a living wage who are working on our contracts. So we're seeing a good uptake with the Charter. 164, I think it is, organisations now accredited to the Charter, and that's through contracting with the council, and also the organisations that just want to be signed up to the Charter, and 20 or 30, I think it's 28 or so companies now or organisations actually accredited voluntarily to the Charter, and enables them to get recognised for the social value that they deliver locally in Birmingham. So it's understanding the local needs, and through the commissioning process, we start off with assessing those needs, and it's not just about service review, but it's about understanding the actual need in the communities. And then through the service delivery option appraisal process, the social value is assessed as part of the overall process of reviewing those options. And if a procurement process follows through then into stage 3, we effectively apply the principles of the Charter to delivering those, supporting to deliver those social value outcomes.
Well, that would be my hope. More concise reporting would be good. I think there's in the public sector, we already have a great deal of reporting. We're very good actually at doing that. Perhaps it's underestimated the extent to which we provide a lot of non-financial information. Social value reporting, social impact reporting, would fit within that area. And my view would be we need to have less rather than more. We need to be able to tell the story concisely in order for people to understand it. But at the same time, we can actually pinpoint key areas that they can go and look for further detail. So yes, certainly more concise reporting would be the goal. I don't think we're there yet. This year we're producing a publication on social value and measuring social value, which we hope will add to the information that's already out there and the range of evaluation tools that are already there. We're also already involved with the International Integrated Reporting Council, which is a global organisation looking at integrated reporting. And part of that work is an integrated reporting framework, which includes looking at 6 types of capital and how you create value. So clearly there are a lot of different ways in which social value kicks in to the work of CIPFA. Going forward, I would see CIPFA really playing a key role as a major accounting body, helping develop reporting and measuring around this topic.